Hey YouTube, welcome to part 4 of my welding cart project. Now 18 gauge metal's not a challenge for any 60 amp plasma cutter, even a Chinese one. But I'd never done any plasma cutting before, and this is the first time I'd used this plasma cutter other than just a quick test on a small piece of angle iron. So I was pretty happy with the way it was going, certainly a lot easier than cutting it off with a cut-off wheel on a grinder. I needed some floor material for the shelves, and I had this metal left over from an old washing machine. I'd salvaged the sides off of it, and I had a Chinese plasma cutter, just a cheap one. There's a review on another video on that. So I thought that was just meant to be. I grabbed the metal, measured it all up, marked it out, and started cutting it up with the plasma cutter. When I test fitted it, I found that I needed to take a shave off down one side. It needed about 1.5 mm off one end and tapering down to about 0.5 mm at the other end. For the Imperialist, that's about a 1/16 of an inch at one end down to a little bit under, probably a 32nd of an inch at the other end, maybe just over a 64th of an inch. So I set up the guide and went about cutting that with the plasma cutter, and I found that very easy. Taking such a thin slice off anything with an angle grinder is sort of awkward, I find anyway, in getting it right. But plasma cutter with guide and just very, very simple. I was patting myself on the back and pretty happy with purchasing a plasma cutter at this point. Once I'd taken that piece off the side, it was a perfect fit, and all I needed to do was give it a little quick hit with the grinder and take off the dross. There wasn't a lot of that there, but then it was ready to go and on with the next shelf. Yes, sir, buying that plasma cutter was one of the best ideas I've had in a good while. Cutting the second shelf was just a repeat of the first, went just as easily, and the measurements were just as bad. Again, I had to take a small slice off one side of the shelf just to make it fit, and the amount that I had to take off was again pretty much identical to the first shelf. I'm not quite sure how I managed to measure the same mistake twice, but I did. Fortunately, correcting the mistake a second time was also just as easy as correcting it the first time. I'd have to say I'm becoming a big fan of using a plasma cutter, in particular when it comes to fixing up small mistakes in measurements. I think they're just way and above anything else I've ever used. The scrap that was left over from that shelf turned out to be pretty right for putting a floor under the gas bottle. The width of the long arm was wide enough to cover the entire section. I just had to cut it to length. They say that practice makes perfect, and the third shelf was certainly the easiest to do. I even managed to get the measurement right this time and didn't have to trim anything off the side. Just a really quick grind to get the minor amount of dross off the cut, and it was ready to fit. And there they are, all sitting in position. Unfortunately, the workroom is very crowded at the moment. I'm still tidying it up and putting shelves in, so there's not a lot of room to move back away from it to get a wider angle shot. I hope you can see it well enough from here, because I'm afraid it's the best I can do at the moment. Now I needed a little bit of flat to weld in as a shelf support on the bottom frame behind the gas bottle. I needed a piece of 50mm by 3mm, which is 2" by 1/8, which I didn't have, but I did have some angle iron, which was 50mm on the side and 3mm thick, so I decided to use the plasma cutter to split that down the middle and make my flats, rather than have to go out to the scrapyard and see if I could find some. That was a good idea, I thought. The plasma cutter was working well and I was pretty happy to be playing with my new toy. But it didn't go as well as I had hoped because the plasma cutter stopped about a foot into the cut. And it took me a minute to figure out what was wrong. Thought maybe a fuse had blown or something. But as it turned out, the plasma cutter had overheated, and that was the first sign that the plasma cutter still had problems, and in fact, just as it turned out, was quite unusable. I won't bore you with the video of it all, but it took me 4 attempts to get that cut finished, with about an hour between each attempt while the plasma cutter cooled down. On each attempt, the length of cut was a little bit shorter than the previous length, and by the end, I think I managed to get about 3 inches of cut in before it overheated. That was pretty much the last straw for the plasma cutter, and it went back to the seller. You can see the full review on the plasma cutter on another video. I'll put a link into that in the description. The next thing I have to do is cut the mounting plates out of ply. I need one for each side, and on the plans they're just called mounting plates. I don't make any mention of what you should do with them, but if you bear with me to the end of the next video, you'll see what I mounted on. The ply I have was salvaged from a house renovation I did quite a few years ago. A lot of the house was lined with this 3/8 inch ply, that's 10mm ply, the interior walls. And when I redid it with gyprock, or I think the Americans call it drywall, I looked at this ply I pulled off and I thought, well, that's too good to throw out, and I hung on to it in case I could find a need for it. And I have. I've used it in a great many projects between then and now, and I still have some left. It can be used for future projects. Better remember to put my safety glasses on before we start. The saw I'm using is just a shade on the blunt side. It's chipping the edge of the ply a little bit, but that won't matter because this edge will be hidden behind the angle anyway. No one's going to see it. I have to make a couple of lengthways cuts in the ply next. I'll grab my little Chinese-made bench saw for that. I bought it at Bunnings, which is pretty much the Australian equivalent of the American Harbour Freight, I believe. Lots of cheap equipment and mostly sourced from China. It's okay. As long as you use it for light work, this saw does quite a nice cut. Wouldn't use it for anything heavy, but having it is certainly a lot easier than pulling out the big 3-phase table saw, which is why it gets used for any light jobs. I'll just quickly get this measured and marked up cutting. We're having quite a heat wave at the moment and the morning's wearing on, so as soon as I get this cut I think I'll call it a day. It's getting quite hot here. I've had a couple of days as high as 44 degrees centigrade, Celsius, whatever you want to call it. That's about 111 degrees Fahrenheit. So pretty hot and very uncomfortable to be working in the shed, which is why I've been working just of a morning and calling it quits fairly early on. And because I'm cutting at an angle, I'm going to remove the guide off the saw. And because there is no guide, I need to see the line that I've drawn, so I'm going to leave the blade guard up. Now this is dangerous and I don't recommend you do this at home. I've been working around dangerous equipment for quite some time. I have a lot of respect for it, but I'm also very careful, and where necessary I will lift some of the safety equipment off, but you have to be aware of it all the time and on your guard. Fingers don't grow back. As you could see, the guard dropped down at one point and I couldn't see the line that I was cutting, so I had to stop the saw and raise that up again. Off camera I'll tighten that bolt a little bit so that it's got a little bit more friction there and hopefully won't drop down quite so easily again. Our test bit shows me that I need to take just a little bit off the length of it, roughly about 3/4 of the width of the blade on the saw. So rather than try to set a guide up to do that, I'll just eyeball it and see how we go with it. And a test bit on the second one with a little bit of weld in one corner, which is sticking out. So I'll just nip corner off the board and that should fit fine too. Another test fit shows that those parts are a perfect fit. I just need to screw them on now. It's getting oppressively hot in the shed now that the sun's beating down on it fully. So I'm going to call it a morning, go into the cool again. We'll finish the build in the next video. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you want to get the plans, there's a link in the description, and the link will also pop up here on the screen in a second. At the bottom of the page that link takes you to, you'll find the plans can be downloaded in PDF format. Again, hope you enjoyed the video and thank you for watching.